And take 2. Namaste, my friends and family. It's good to be with you again. For a long time, I have said I would make a pranayama and bandha tutorial video, so here it is. So let's begin by first just finding a comfortable seated position. Remember, in the seated position, what is important is, to the best of your ability, to have a straight spine from the top of the head, through the neck, down the spine to the seat bones. Now there's many different ways you can sit. You're very welcome to sit in a chair. Just sit at the edge of the chair so that you can plant your feet flat down on the floor and achieve the same flat back. I'm just going to move the video camera a little bit so that you can see the bottom of my mat. I think that'll be easier. Let's see. Okay. So as you're getting situated, me too. So if there is any issue with the knees, go ahead and take a block. You can put it underneath the knee. That may relieve some of the pressure on that joint. If that doesn't work, you can also put a cloth or a block in between the calf and the thigh. Sometimes that's helpful. Or just lift your hips a little higher as you sit on the edge of a mat. So it's important to, every time you come to your yoga practice, no matter what the practice is focused on, that you come to a quiet state first, within the body, the mental thoughts, and the emotional feelings. So let's just sit quietly. Close the eyes. Since we are physical beings, let's bring our attention first to just the physical sensations. As I'm sitting up nice and straight, I feel the weight equally through my seat bones. Letting my buttocks just sink down through the blanket, through the mat, down to the earth. At the same time, I want to feel a lightness as I lengthen the spine and lift up through the crown of the head. I might want to notice if my head is forward of the body, just bring it back in line with the spine. Perhaps my shoulders have a tendency to roll forward and the upper back to have a slight roundness or curve, so I gently bring them back. Dropping the shoulders. How do I do that? I bring attention to the shoulder blades. Think about bringing the shoulder blades gently in towards the spine and then dropping them down. As I do that, I do my best not to tighten any of the muscles on the side of the neck, the back of the neck, or the shoulders or the arms. It's strictly through the back. And as we gain that awareness of understanding how to drop the shoulder blades, we free up the tension in the upper back, the chest, and the neck. Stay here in that physical realm. And notice that the stomach is nice and soft. The great thing about a yoga practice is we don't care what your stomach looks like. So as you take your big breaths, go ahead, let it poof out, and then gently bring it back in as you exhale. Inhale is passive, exhale is an active focus. Inhale, relax. Exhale, gently bring the belly button towards the spine. Let's practice that breath. So this is a routine that I recommend everyone before you start your yoga practice to simply sit, find your alignment, relax into the seated posture, and start refining the awareness of the breath. Right now, it doesn't matter if your inhale is longer than your exhale or vice versa. What matters is that you come to a full sensation of relaxation during the inhale and a little bit more focus, relaxed focus, as you exhale. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. Continue. So the first refinement we may want to make in our breath is understanding that there is no pause between the inhale and the exhale. Let's have a nice smooth cycle of inhalation and exhalation. Go ahead and practice that now. Just find that awareness. Let's stay here for 4 more breaths. Moving on, deepening our awareness and refinement, let's try to make each inhale and exhale of equal time duration. So perhaps you'd like to silently in your head chant as you inhale, Om, 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 exhale, Om, 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 Om. So go ahead and find a rhythm that works for you. There's no value judgment in whether you inhale for 4 ohms or 8 ohms. There's no value to it. What the value is finding that awareness and that equal rhythm, whatever that is for your body today. Go ahead, let's practice that. As we stay within this breath and this awareness, let's try to slow down the rhythm now. Stay here. Remember, no pause between the inhale and exhale. Just a beautiful, equal, rhythmic cycle. Now, to help us keep our mental focus here, as we continue with this breath, let's gently come into a yoga mudra. Thumb to first finger, palm can be open and resting on our knee. If this is not comfortable, you can also do it with a closed palm. Stay here, stay with that soft breath. As one of my teachers said, simply allow the allowing. Now, without overthinking it, to your capacity and to your personality, simply bring your focus either right here at the middle of the chest or here between the eyebrows. Don't overthink it, just find one that feels comfortable and stay there with your breath. Good, stay focused here. Ever so often review your posture, sitting bones, spine, crown of the head, relax shoulders, rhythmic breath, mudra with the fingers and hand, soft mental and emotional focus on one of the 2 points we mentioned. Stay here with the breath. Don't feel shy about moving the legs or the hips. If the joints or the muscles begin to get very uncomfortable, go ahead and move the posture. But to the best of your ability, stay nice and lengthened and straight from the hips up through the crown of the head, even as you perhaps move the knee or hip or ankle to another position. Let's stay here for 4 more breaths. Still have that internal chant of Om, helping you keep the rhythm. Stay in this nice quiet breath and this nice quiet posture. And let's introduce the Muladhara Bandha. So I've talked about this in other videos, so I won't go into great detail, just how to do it right now. Remember, inhale is a very soft, relaxed inhalation, and that's really important that you totally relax through the abdomen and through the pelvic girdle and diaphragm. Now as I exhale, gently pulling the belly button towards the spine, I find a focus and a muscular contraction to begin with. We just think muscular contraction of the perineum. So for women, that's between the vaginal opening and the anus. For men, between the anus and the front of the pelvis. You can feel this contraction in towards the midline and then up. Sometimes for women, if this is hard to envision or feel, you can also think of a Kegel where we contract the vaginal walls. That's a good place to start. All these places are good places to start to get the awareness. Now remember, we do it on the exhale. When we finish the exhale, we simply relax the focus. Relax and have this beautiful inhale. And then exhale and hold the Muladhara Bandha, bringing the belly button in. And then relax. All right? So let's stay here for a few breaths, several breaths, and just understand how to relax and then find the focus again. So go ahead. Let's do 2 more breaths here with the Muladhara Bandha. So continue breathing while I explain the Uddiyana Bandha. So we're really quite well prepared and set up to experience the Uddiyana Bandha, because with every exhale that we've taken since we sat down, we have contracted the belly button in towards the spine. And the Uddiyana Bandha is just an extension of that movement. So we have a gentle inhale. As we exhale, remember we engage the Muladhara Bandha, that is that contraction of the perineum towards the midline and up. At the end of our exhale, when we have expelled the oxygen or carbon dioxide from our lungs to the best of our ability, our navel is pushed back against the spine. We retain the breath. We hold the breath here. And then we think about bringing the contents of our stomach back towards the spine and kind of lifting up through the energy, lifting up. So, with the Muladhara Bandha towards the midline and up, I'm continuing that feeling of energy going up as my belly button now is back against the spine and coming up. So all the energy is moving up. That's the Uddiyana Bandha. I only hold my breath for as long as comfortable. There should never be stress or strain in your pranayama practice. To my capacity, I hold my breath, and then I simply release the Uddiyana Bandha, release the Muladhara Bandha. It's important, you need to release it all. Relax, take a big inhale. Exhale, Muladhara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, holding the breath. Release Uddiyana, release Muladhara, and gentle inhale. All right, so we're still having this nice rhythm. And there's no strain, only hold the breath. It doesn't matter if it's 1 second or 5 seconds. Everyone has a different capacity. The important thing here is to be aware of what's going on and not to stress physically or emotionally the body as we go through this beautiful breath. Alrighty? So sitting up nice and straight. Find your posture. Let's just begin with easy breaths. Relax. Exhale, active exhale. Hands are in yoga mudra. Chosen a point of focus either at the heart center or between the eyebrows. Your first breath, simply experience the Muladhara Bandha. Second breath, begin the Uddiyana Bandha and stay there with those two pranayamas as best as you can. So go ahead and begin. Now, no worries, if you start to feel a little stressed out or a feeling of anxiety, just take a few simple breaths in between and then come back to the bandha practice. This bandha practice does not have to be done consecutively, okay? Continue. Go ahead, let's finish up. So if you make pranayama in a bandha practice part of your overall yoga experience, I recommend very strongly that once you finish working with the bandhas, that you either do at least 2 minutes, 5 minutes preferably, of either just equal breath, inhale and exhale, or alternate nostril breath. And the reason why is because when we work the bandhas, and I'm sure you felt it, there is a lot of physical and emotional sensations churning as you did this practice. And there's a lot of subtle energy that has been activated. And we'd like to channel those sensations and those energies into a balanced harmony, because sometimes they start to get a little disparate and you may feel some dissonance in the body. So it's highly recommended that after the practice, either equal breath for 2 to 5 minutes or alternate nostril breath. So I'm going to leave you here with that. We'll continue with some other videos. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.